Okay, it's showtime. We're live. Anita, we're live.
Oh, we're live already?
Yes, I believe we are. Hold on a second. Let me see. And I'm squinting even with my glasses on. Let me go ahead and I'll check just to make sure. I'll check our pages just to make sure that we are live. But I'm very confident in what the message is telling us that we definitely are live. And if you're there watching us, please say hello so we can. Yep, there we go. We're
Okay,
live.
that's good. Somebody's responding. That's good. That means we are alive.
Hello. Seema is here. Oh, Nancy is here, and Kathy is here. And hello, Carol. Hi, everybody. It's
Hi,
great to be
everybody.
here. Yes. And yeah, as you come in, let us know where you're tuning in from. That would be great. Like what part of the world, where in the world are you located?
Yeah,
Hi,
where?
Newport is here. I hope I said that right. And live at Soul Shine. Can you see all the people coming in?
Me, I can't. It's not showing up for me, but I
Okay,
will.
on the right-hand side of your screen,
I'm gonna have to put my glasses
put
for
your
this.
glasses on, Amy. I've got my
Oh,
glasses
here
on.
we go. Comments. Now I can see them. I see them.
Yes, Seema is in New York City. Oh, fabulous.
I see them
Budapest,
all.
Virginia,
Hello,
New York.
Darren.
Oh, Nancy's coming to Scottsdale. Oh, Nancy's coming to the healing retreat. That is great. And
Yay.
we'll talk about that. For those of you who don't know about the healing retreat, we will definitely talk about that. Plus, we have a really, really exciting announcement. Very quickly, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Liz Dawn, and I am the producer and creator of Celebrate Your Life events, and we do them all over the world with amazing, world renowned spiritual luminaries such as the fabulous Anita Moorjani.
Thank
Yay!
you.
Yay, 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 yay. And of course, everybody knows who Anita is. I know all of you on the Celebrate Your Life pages and my pages, you know who Anita is. Oh, Isabella, Puerto Rico. And we've got Larry here from New Zealand and Pittsburgh. And you Soulshine, you're coming to Scottsdale. Yay! Sunshine Energy Wellness is coming to Scottsdale. And Grace. Okay, so let me just share with you before we get started. So what everybody's talking about, they're coming to Scottsdale. We're doing, no, we aren't. Anita is presenting.
I'm going to
I'm
pull
the
you up
behind the
on
scenes
stage.
gal.
Yeah.
It's like, wing. Anita is going to be presenting a fantastic 4-day retreat, 3.5-day retreat in Scottsdale, Arizona on June 2nd through the 5th. And here is the website if you're interested in taking a look at all the information. But the exciting announcement is we've had so many requests from people all over the world. Would we please, please, please live stream? And we were not going to live stream. However, Anita finally got to me and said, please can we live stream? And I finally said, yes, let's do it. So if you
Yes.
cannot be with us live, and of course, live is always totally and completely amazing, and so is live stream. So for those of you in Sweden, like Britt Marie or Brigitte in Denmark, if you cannot make it in person, or Jody in Toronto, if you can't make it in person, come be with us on live stream because it will be really fun to be able to have you join us on live stream. So, okay,
Yes.
so let's start the conversation off on what we're supposed to talk about today, what we're going to talk about today about joy.
Yes. Yes, we're going to. So, yeah, it's important to actually find joy, but at the same time, it's important to allow yourself to feel all your feelings because one of the things, one of the mistakes we make is that when we are in this line of work that we do, what you do, what I do, even our audience members, our followers who come to our events, and they're on this journey of letting go of fear and becoming more fearless, and um, they start to understand that it's important to choose joy, and they don't have to be a martyr, and they don't have to choose suffering. When we're on this journey of making these choices, every now and then we do fall. I mean, we do fail. We do run into roadblocks and things that happen that do make us feel sad or or fearful. And so what I wanted to do was to also remind people to honor those feelings, because one of the dangers of being on this journey is that when you experience those feelings, the not so comfortable feelings, you feel like a failure.
Right.
And
Right.
you feel ashamed for feeling those things. You kind of feel, I shouldn't be feeling it. I've done all this work. But the truth is, you're still human. And what you're really learning on this journey is you're learning the tools. You're learning how to be your authentic self. And so to me, I always say the most important thing, more important than finding your joy and more important than being positive and all these things. And people say with the law of attraction, and you have to be positive and not be fearful. More important than anything is being yourself and
Yeah.
embracing who you are without judgment and without shame. So many of us feel shame when we feel like, oh my gosh, I should know more than this. I'm out there teaching other people or healing other people. So many people that come to my events, they themselves are healers and teachers and light workers, and and believe it or not, people of this genre are actually the hardest on themselves. So I wanted to start off with that reminder.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that you shared that, Anita, because it's so important that we remind ourselves that we can't be like, positive Pollyannas 24/7, that we do
yeah,
get splatted, that we do, and it's not even splatted. I'm going to take that back for a second. Things happen in our lives where true, real emotions are warranted.
yes,
It's there. Anger is not it for me at least. I know it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be, you know, in anxiety. The truth for me, for this one, and I can only speak for myself, is not to get so blended with it and so tied up in it that it overtakes me,
yes.
that it
It
overtakes my entire life, that anger overtakes my life, or sadness becomes harmful, or depression becomes harmful, or anxiety becomes harmful. It's knowing how to unblend and be compassionate to this part of ourselves that might be sad or an angst or upset. We have family things that come up, and they can be hurtful sometimes, or friendships or relationships that can be hurtful, and it's okay. It's
yes.
okay.
It's okay to feel sad or hurt and all these things. And those things are not who you are. And at the same time, we need to also know that it is going to pass. And we need to trust that we do have guidance and loved ones taking care of us. And we can call on our guidance. We can ask for help and guidance from our from the other side.
Right.
And go ahead.
No, and it's also knowing those techniques. I mean, you teach such beautiful techniques of how to, when you're in that place, also how to love yourself and honor yourself and support yourself in the midst of being in those chaotic or emotional moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's really important. For me, I teach it because it's I teach it as I learn. As I get proficient at something, I get this urge that I want to share it. Other people need to know this, and that's why I teach everything I know. And every experience that makes me feel sad or hurt or fearful deepens that. It deepens my own knowledge and learning of how to overcome it, and and that's when I develop more tools, and so I teach it. And so even with things like let's say joy, I don't lose the joy. Even when I feel sad and unhappy, when I feel sad or hurt, the weird thing that I've noticed, as long as I'm being myself and as long as I'm honoring who I am and not feeling shame for who I am, there is still the joy still feels like it's very attainable. It still feels like I don't feel unhappy even when I feel those emotions. Like, to be
Hmm.
honest with you, I'm going through something even right now to do with my mom. She's nearing the end of her life, and I don't know when she's going to transition. And so I'm dealing with that as best as I can. And I know I have to come to terms with the fact that she is going to leave, and she's 96, and and bless her for still being here. But I'm just dealing with some emotions around that. She's in India and I'm here in Los Angeles, and I want to go see her, but it takes 30 hours to get to where she is. And so I'm dealing with a lot of emotions around that. Like, do I go right now? Can I wait until June when I have more time? So it's all these things that I'm dealing with, which don't feel comfortable at all. They don't feel comfortable. But if you ask me whether I love my life and whether I love myself and all these things, the answer is still yes.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about my mom and all these things going on, because we just had a little scare over the weekend. She was rushed to the hospital, and the best word I can think of is that it discombobulates me. It actually
Mm-hmm.
it it creates an energy shift within me, where suddenly a big part of my mind and energy goes there. It goes towards her. I'm communicating with her energetically as she's going through this. And so a big part of my mind is focused there, and there's much less left to focus on my day-to-day things that I'm doing here.
Right,
So
right.
I'm noticing I'm fumbling, I'm getting things wrong. But yet, if you were ever to ask me, um, do I, do I still love my life? Yes, I do. I love my life. I love what I do every day. I still love to get up in the morning. Do I love myself? Yes, I do. So all of those things are the things that need to be in place for us to
Mm-hmm.
deal with what life brings our way. Then when joy is available, like when my mom gets over this phase in her life, and whatever is for her highest good, I know that joy will be available for me very, very quickly.
Oh,
Does
I
that
get
make
it.
sense? That's
Yes,
yes.
because just because we're going through something doesn't negate all of the teachings and doesn't negate who we truly are and the love that we have for our lives and
Yes,
ourselves. And I just, a lot of the viewers are sending you so much love, appropriately so. And this is appropriate to feel what you're feeling right now. This is appropriate to feel sadness and grief. And I remember a dear friend of mine told me before my mom was transitioning, and I was sobbing and sobbing, and I couldn't get a handle on things, and discombobulated. And she said, this is anticipatory grief. And
yes,
of
that's what I'm feeling.
course, it's appropriate. Oh, I want to give you a hug.
Oh, thank you. I
Because
received.
as much as we know, Anita, you've been studying a long time. I've been studying a long time, and all of you out there, all of your viewers, I know you've all been studying, your spiritual journey for a long time as well. And as much as we know, and as much as we practice and really meditate and do all the things that we know to do, it doesn't negate the fact that things happen in life, like
Yeah,
the transition of your mom, the transition of people that we love and adore, and to have appropriate discombobulation for a while is totally, I don't want to, the word isn't normal, but that's what I want to say. It's
it
yes.
is. Yeah, actually, that is a good word. It is normal to be, discombobulated for a while, or to lose your way for a little
Yes.
while.
Or to
But
forget things because your head and your energy is, yeah, it's split right now.
yeah, but yet the foundation shouldn't be so shaky that you lose it every time something like that happens. And that's what's important. It's the foundation of really truly knowing that you are part of something bigger, that you really that you matter, that you are guided, that you are in essence, you are invincible. We all are.
Right.
And that is something that should never leave us.
I love that you talked about foundation because I think that's imperative in all that we're doing. So when these moments do arise, we have that ability. We've got the foundation. We've got that solid space inside of us
Yeah.
to to kind of lean on, to kind of step into, to kind of open that foundation opens its arms and embraces us.
Yeah.
That knowingness. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to reflect back because this is a perfect segue into this. And please know that this is part of my job and what I do in the world is that I create events, I create gatherings, I create spiritual retreats and safe and nurturing spaces for people to come together in community. And Juliana, thank you so much for asking the question, when is the retreat? Because let me just talk about that for a moment. Because what I've learned is that, it's going to sound like, yes, it's going to sound very salesy right now, and please understand I'm not meaning it to. However, the foundation is a perfect segue into talking about Anita's retreat coming up, because that's what being in spiritual community, being with your soul tribe, being with people that speak that same language, and being with a guide and teacher such as Anita is what strengthens our foundation. And this is one of the reasons why I do this in the world, because I love it. Because I need it and I love it. And I've been doing this for 27 years. So we are creating a program featuring Anita. Anita and I are doing this together, and she is the featured presenter and star of this retreat, as she will guide us through an entire 3.5 days of pure magic, of healing, of understanding who you truly are, and guiding you through meditations and practices. The website is right on the screen. You do not need to type in the www. It's just anita.celebrateyourlife.com. So it's anita.celebrateyourlife.com. And the retreat is taking place on June 2nd through the 5th. And if you live somewhere such as Croatia and you cannot make it to Scottsdale, Arizona, we are announcing today that we are live streaming the event, and the recordings will be available for 14 days after the event. So it's always wonderful being together live and in person, and that's always my favorite. However, if you cannot be there in person, we just announced today we are live streaming it because it does make sense that there are lots of people that need this information
Yes.
so dearly. And this is a way to be with us and be with us, without having to travel 50 hours to get there.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
just wanted to add, I'm so glad you're doing the live streaming because so many people I've noticed on my social media have been writing that, will you be live streaming this event? Will you be live streaming? I can't come all the way there. And they've been writing from all over the world. So I'm so happy that you're doing this. And
Yeah, we finally decided to do this. We thought, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that, and also you mentioned that even the people who attend the event, they'll be able to access the live stream
Yeah,
after
absolutely. Afterwards.
for
Yeah.
14 days.
Yeah. So you
Um,
don't have to work like crazy writing notes. Even the retreat attendees will have access to those recordings for 14 days after the event. Yes.
and I just wanted to thank everyone for their comments. They're so warm and loving, and I really, really appreciate your thoughts about my mom and everything. So thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. I'm gonna just I've been receiving their energy, and it's wonderful.
There is a question. Here it is. Christine Miller. Christine, I'm hoping that you're still there. Please let us know if you're still there. By the way, just so you see where we're getting the comments from, we are live on about 8 different platforms right now. So we're live on Anita's page, on all of the Celebrate Your Life pages, on my personal page, on YouTube. So that's where all the comments are coming in from. But Christine Miller, let me see if you are still here. You have a really interesting question that you would like to ask Anita. And I'm putting it on the screen just for a moment because you can't see above our heads. But what Christine has written is, sometimes due to chronic illness, I feel very sad. Here, I can put it back on the screen so you can
Okay.
see.
Okay.
I feel very sad because I feel like my original self is gone, has left the building. I actually loved myself and I miss that person that I was. I feel like I lost my light. Oh, I don't
Oh,
know how to operate without it. And that light has literally been quite dimmed due to the nature of the illness. Any insight on this? What a beautiful question, Christine.
That is really a beautiful question. And if you were here, I would give you a hug right now. I know how you feel. I have been through that. So one of the first things I would ask you to do is to see if you can. So it sounds from your question that you definitely had the light. You're saying you've lost the light, but you had that light before. You've experienced it. You know what it feels like to have that light. What I would like you to do is think of when this chronic illness started, and I would like you to map about 10 years, anywhere from 8 to 10 years of your life prior to that, and think of all the things of what your life was leading up to that point. So, and then I want you to continue to think of your life as you've been going through this chronic illness, all the things that the state of your life, the condition of your life. So here are the things, here's what I mean. These are the things I want you to look for. What have been the stresses in your life? Um, have you been fearful a lot more than not fearful during that time? Have you been more stressed than joyful? Have you been doing things out of obligation as opposed to out of love? Um, had you lost your joy? Were you in a job that you hated? Were you in a relationship that you hated? Did you feel tied down during those times? So these are the kinds of questions I want you to explore. That did your life lack joy? It takes years for us to develop a chronic illness, and it starts from the energetic, the emotional level. It starts from the emotions, and then you start to feel it at the energetic level. Your energy goes down, and then it starts to show up in your physical body. This is what I call esoteric healing, which is what I've started to experiment with people. So in order to kickstart yourself, you need to think back of what I call the illness trajectory, the trajectory you were on that brought you to this point. And then from here, you build a wellness trajectory where you stop thinking about your chronic illness. You stop thinking in terms of it's getting worse. Over time, it's going to be worse. In 6 months, I'm going to be down here. No, you start putting in place a wellness trajectory of all the things you're going to do to make yourself better. And when I say the things to make yourself better, here's where the people make mistake. They think in terms of only the physical. They think, oh, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to do this or that or the other. It's like, I'm going to exercise more. Yes, do all of that. That's great. But that's not all. That's not what brought you here. It's a lot more than that. What are you going to do to bring more joy back into your life? What are you going to do to find your passion again? How are you going to release all the blocked emotions? You need to do some kind of release exercise. So you really need to start evaluating, am I spending more time with people who drain me than people who I have fun with and who energize me? Those are the kinds of things you need to look at and start reversing all of these things. And the reason why I call it esoteric healing is because we work at healing not only from the physical level, but also the emotional level, which is the next one up, but the energetic level, which is the next one, and then the soul level. The soul level is, why did my soul choose to incarnate here and now? What was its intention when it chose to come here? That's what I do when I go into meditation. And it's, what was my soul's purpose for incarnating in this body and this time and space right now?
I love everything you just said. I mean, I seriously am just like sinking into all of the words that you just shared and all of the wisdom you just shared, because I think for me, and I'm going to ask everyone here, I so resonate with losing that joy and feeling like I've lost that light of myself. And it's like you have to go back, at least for me, I have to go back to basics and go back to what really brings me joy. And and Christine, I'm going to ask you to try practicing this, and any of else out there, exactly what Anita's saying is going back to what brought you joy when you were supposedly more yourself. Like what
Yes,
brought that light into your life? And I'd love to see some of you share right now. What brings you joy? What brings you
exactly.
joy? Is it coloring? Is it reading? Is it, you know what really brings me joy? Here's my little secret, okay? What really brings me joy is just sitting and reading a great fiction, because I read a lot of nonfiction and personal development and spiritual books. But what really brings me joy is reading just a fun, all out novel and just taking the space and sitting and reading. Like, that is so decadent to me. So, Christine,
Yes.
I see that you're here listening. What is it like when you were more of who you were? What what brings you joy? Like, what really like makes your heart sing? Like, Anita, what is your like little
Oh,
decadent, lovely thing that you like to do?
oh, this is almost embarrassing. I like to binge watch programs on Netflix,
Yes,
and
me too.
and
Okay,
I remember,
what's your binge show?
oh, there's so many, but like, okay, this is crazy. Indian matchmaking. I
Oh, I
loved
just
it.
watched that last night.
That makes me laugh every time because I've been through it. I've been through, the whole process of an arranged marriage. So watching this happening today in the 21st century, it just, yeah, it just makes me laugh. And I find the main person, the main star, the main host, I find her to be really funny. I don't think she's trying to be, but she's lovely and she's really
She
um,
is.
so that makes me laugh. But I always find something like that to watch on Netflix, and I think, and it just, yeah, it just brings me out of myself and makes me really laugh. The other thing that I love doing is connecting with my friends. I have a group of girlfriends, a group of gal pals, and any one of them, like, we're just a small group of 3 or 4 of us at any given time, but we're there for each other when any of us need it. And so they have been amazing. I mean, uh, I just feel really blessed and guided to have met them and have had them in my life. So they've just
No.
been, it's just been a really beautiful friendship. And so every time I'm feeling like, okay, this is, even Netflix is not fixing this.
You just go and do something with your gal pals. I love that. All right,
Yeah.
what else? Come on, Christine. I want to see what brings you joy. Gail says creating mandalas brings her joy and playing with crystals. I love it. Carol says art, quilting my dog's family. Sylvie says teaching Munei. I'm not quite sure how you say that, and also giving mediumship readings. Let's see what else. I love to watch people's dreams come true. The Voice or Idol. I know American
Oh, I
Idol.
love
What
those
it makes
too.
me cry.
Or America's Got Talent. Yeah, I love those
Yes,
too.
yes. Christine says my kids, music. In some ways, the the things make me happier that they used to. In some ways, the things make me happier that I don't know if I read that right. I understand that I have more appreciation for the ordinary days and small things. I just really miss myself. I guess it's the same as losing anyone else incredibly important to me. Perhaps it's just grief. Yeah. I mean, there is a grieving process when you're going through any kind of changes like that in your life. I would say that there
Yeah.
is a grieving process of the loss of the old self, and also embracing maybe there's some things in the new self that can be celebrated. I don't know if there's gratitude or celebration in the new self.
I also
Oh,
want to mention, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, Crystal's just saying drawing positive quotes. I love that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So, if since we're on the subject of healing, I also want to speak a little bit about if people are going through some physical challenges, health challenges, um, we need to ask ourselves at that time that, is this challenge going to take me down, or is it a wake-up call? And you can actually choose to see it as a wake-up call. It's a call to turn your life around. And that's what I tend to do. It's not that, since I had my near-death experience 17 years ago, it's not that I've never faced another challenge since then. In fact, it's just that I have faced challenges, but I have had to see them as, oh, this is a wake-up call to make me a better version of myself. And so when I speak to people going through challenges, this is what I say to them. I say, this is actually an opportunity for you to create a better version of yourself. I went through a challenge like a little over a year ago. It started about, let's say, a year and a half, or close to 2 years ago, where I was dealing with physical symptoms that I didn't understand. And so, but I decided that I'm going to turn my life around. I decided that this was a wake-up call and not something that's going to be for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so I did everything I could. And so here's the thing. We need to be willing to look at it, and we need to be willing to be honest and to actually do the work to turn it around. And the work is exactly what I just mentioned earlier, exactly what I mentioned. Like, what am I spending more hours in the day doing things that deplete my energy, or am I spending more hours in the day doing things that uplift my energy and bring me joy? That's why in my retreats and workshops, I make sure that they are absolutely uplifting. So even while people are getting the teachings and everything I'm talking to them about, so you're getting that, but at the same time, you need to be in a high energy, high vibe environment so that your body is experiencing a level of high energy so that your physical body can heal.
Oh, what she said. Oh, this way.
I do that.
It's true. So I hope you will all join us for Anita's very, very sacred and special retreat on June 2nd through the 5th. We do still have some seats available for the live retreat, and we're also doing it on live stream. So if you cannot make it there in person, there's another option for you. It's going to be an incredibly healing program. If you visit anita.celebrateyourlife.com, the website again is anita.celebrateyourlife.com. It takes place in Scottsdale, Arizona, live and in person, or you can opt in for the live stream. And you know, we've never done that before where we've live streamed your event. So this is really exciting. Sarah, your best bet is to join us for live stream.
Yes.
It's going to be recorded. So if the times don't work for you, don't worry about it. It'll be recorded. You'll have availability. I can't even say that. Availability for 14 days post the event to view everything a second, third time. And it's really going to be fantastic because we're serving everyone around the world, and that's what we do, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. I'm so glad we're doing that. But of course, if you guys can make it physically, I would love to see you
I
physically because we share
know.
hugs. And yes, I would love
Yes, we're going to
that.
have a dance party too, aren't
Oh,
we?
that's right. Yes, we're having a dance party.
Have the dance party on Saturday night. All right. So the URL again is anita.celebrateyourlife.com. Anita.celebrateyourlife.com. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We really, really appreciate it. And we will see you on June 2nd. You got to be there in person
Yes.
or live stream. All right,
Yay.
everybody. Thank you so much. Mwah.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Liz. Mwah.